Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. There are people that have passed away that hope to reach Ramadan, and there are people who are too ill to fast or be able to do the types of ibadah that we are able to do this Ramadan. So I hope that with this reminder, we can begin Ramadan with gratefulness and have mercy on ourselves and be patient with ourselves, that we may have many great plans for Ramadan, but that we have what they call SMART goals, where these are realistic and they make sense and they are just challenging enough that we can change our lives for the better and really benefit ourselves this month. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us and make it easy for us to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish. Of course, very few of us can leave work and leave everything else and fully, delve into the Quran and pray the Salah every time on time with all the sunnahs, and also make tarawih and also prepare suhoor and iftar. All of these things, we can't just leave. There are some, mashallah, people I've heard that some Muslims they save up work hours so that they can take off Ramadan. But I think for me and for those people in my community, we do have to continue doing work. We do have to continue going towards our goals. And while it is, for some people necessary or something that they really love to be able to leave work and to leave activity, I think it's important that we do live normal lives and continue to work and study and do things, because Ramadan is a time of training for the rest of the year. So the main thing is, if Ramadan is so different from the rest of the year, if we structure Ramadan in our personal lives, in our homes, and in our work lives to be entirely different from the rest of the year in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the activity level, in terms of the food, in terms of the drink, in terms of where we are at geographically, then those hard-earned lessons, those issues of controlling yourself and staying away from haram and devoting yourself to the Quran and offering more salah and being more charitable, it will be, if you study psychology a little, and you'll see that it'll be a little more difficult for us to actually keep those habits throughout the year, because Ramadan has become so entirely different. So, when we fast, our activity level is subdued to some extent. We may not have the energy, especially at the end of the day, that we normally have. So we may, do the heavy work we need to do in the morning, so that by the time we're tired, we can simply do, smaller tasks or tasks that are less physically draining. This may be some way that you're changing it because of the fasting. But in terms of activity, in terms of fitting in those Islamic activities that we hope to increase, like Quran reading and more salah and praying in the middle of the night, because Ramadan is a training ground for the rest of the year, we should really be trying to make our days as similar to the rest of the year as possible in terms of our activity. One main aspect of an example that I want to bring is about the food. Last Ramadan, I uploaded some videos about how it's always upon the woman or the women of the family to cook these elaborate banquets every single day during Ramadan, or host tons of people at their homes every single day during Ramadan. And this drains a woman to the point where even as a Muslim, she can't benefit Ramadan, and she becomes fearful of Ramadan because of the exhaustion that she has to go through. And at the end, she feels regret and sadness because she hasn't been able to do those extra things that everybody else that she's cooking for are able to do. It's not an issue of the woman's sacrifices so that the rest of the people in the family can benefit Ramadan. It should be an atmosphere of assistance and help and work, so that the loads are shared by everyone, so that the women of the house can also participate in being able to fast properly and being able to devote themselves to the Quran and being able to offer the extra prayers and the prayers in the nighttime. When you consider the logic of that anything you eat after you've been fasting is delicious. Water becomes so much more delicious. Dates become so much more delicious. Other different little activities that we do, all the little snacks and small things, everything is amazing and delicious after we haven't been eating and drinking all day. So even logically, how we naturally fare when we break our fast, that doesn't need to be a big banquet or something fancy either. in order to delight and in order to encourage people to fast and continue. For our children, possibly, we need to make some special things from time to time to encourage them to fast, or have some treats available for them to break their fast with. But as adults, we don't need this kind of motivation to fast. We don't need to fast all day so that we can have a delicious meal. What is the point of fasting? That we have taqwa, that we engender more taqwa, more awareness of Allah, more gratefulness. And how can we be grateful when the second we break our fast, we are eating too much, we are wasting food, we are wasting our time eating when we could be getting ready to go to the masjid, and we could be actively engaging in giving charity and all the other beneficial things that we should be doing during Ramadan. So I hope that this reaches all the families, especially. I hope this reaches the individuals that think that they have to do something special in Ramadan and they feel badly that they can't do it because of their work constraints or their school constraints or their family's constraints. Ramadan is a time for you personally to try to get closer to Allah, a training ground for the whole rest of the year. It's a reset so that you can reset habits and reset goals and reset how you function in your daily life. But it's not a break, and it should not be something so totally different from the rest of your year that after Ramadan and after Eid comes, you can't really get back to that. It's harder because of the presence of the shayateen and because of the presence of other people who aren't fasting and aren't, religious, and the atmosphere that we have around us. But we have to try to strive and make sure that Ramadan is special and different in that we are increasing our acts of worship, but that we maintain a schedule, we maintain, the spiritual fitness, and we maintain that self-restraint that we so badly need the whole other rest of the year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to reach Ramadan. Ameen. And may Allah allow us to approach Ramadan differently this year so that we don't focus on food and we don't focus on drinks and we don't focus on entertaining, but we focus on ourselves, our personal journey through life, getting closer to Allah. Ameen.